Part 0. Intro. Episode 7. The first episode since switching to my new cadence of working on videos. As you will notice in the way I talk and say these sentences, I try to focus more on the quality of things. One thing I also try is providing more interesting content in my videos. Let's take a look. In this video, we'll be going over a couple of things, starting with part 1. What has happened in the last couple of weeks? Well, it do be quite simple. Most of the time has been spent waiting on things, waiting for ideas to pop up and getting them set up. My friend came around and dropped off his 3D printer. I spent a good day trying to get it to work, since I never ever used one of them before. And it had been sitting idle for a couple of years, I think, so some maintenance was due. Having done that, I got ready to start. Well, almost. I was on a trip to the Netherlands for a good week, so I didn't do anything there. Well, explains a lot. So the question becomes, if you spent some time waiting and going on a trip, what have you done after that? Well, I am glad you asked. I finally got to work on the A1 again. But before I show that, let's quickly go over what I will be going over later. Still with me? Part 2. Learning to work with Blender. I of course had to learn how to use Blender, since that will be the 3D modeling software I will be using to design the parts. I at least did something in the Netherlands. I learned it over there. That way, I don't have to bore you all with it. And yes, I am making a reference to episode 2 of this series. We all know that was filler content for the reveal that episode 3 was. Please watch it, but after you finished watching this video, at least give me the watch time. Thank you. But let's get serious now. Part 3. Designing and printing the parts. Well, you've been watching this section for a while now. Except the designing, of course. I designed it whilst on vacation, so I don't really have footage of it. Here's a screenshot though. Part 5. Testing. I sort of forgot about part 4. Let's try it again. Part 4. Testing. As you can see in this clip, the parts hold up pretty well. This doesn't mean a lot though. So, this is it. The print I waited more than 6 hours for. I mean, it's decent, but it's the first ever model I've ever made, so it's not amazing, but it works, and it's actually, it can handle quite a lot of force. I don't know if it will be able to handle like 20-25 bars, but I think, honestly, it's quite good for a first model, except like the back, but that's probably because of the support plates that I didn't quite rip off correctly. I might also try to redo this, but with ABS instead of PLA, to maybe get a bit more strength. The only disadvantage of this system is I had to wait more than 6 hours for this thing, which is quite a long time, especially when you know that I made a model 2 days ago as a test, and you see it's like this is width-wise larger, but this is a lot taller. This only took 1 hour and a half. So this just prints way more slowly. Not that it's a huge problem, but it means that I have to wait a bit longer in between prints. Not that it's a huge problem. Well, it is a huge problem. Let's take a look. We might have a slight issue. So, if you look here, this is the A1, as you can see there, and this is the 3D printed plates. And if we put it on top, you can see that it doesn't quite fit, which is of course not the best thing. This means that this plate is slightly too large, and that I will need to make a new one, sadly. And now back to some theory. Since the force my thumb provides is not at all like the pressure it will feel within the tank. Firstly, the force in the tank will be equal over the entire surface instead of one single spot like here. And secondly, these prototypes aren't made to withstand the pressure that the A1 will have to endure on its maiden flight. If we take a look at SpaceX and their development on Starship, we see that the first couple of models also weren't representative of the ship that we see on the stand now. Just like with SpaceX, these parts also aren't meant to represent the final product. They simply exist to bridge the gap from a concept to an actual rocket we can fly. Having said that, I think it's time to finish up the episode. But before doing that, I want to quickly go over what I actually tried to achieve with this series, since there seems to be some confusing. Appendix: my plans for the series. I have always been passionate about some form of rocketry, and astronomy in general. I never really showed it until very recently. I strongly believe we're in a time where everything is possible when it comes to space flights, and I want to be a part of it. My dream would be to one day build something that's capable of reaching space. I know we're far away from that, but the A1 is our logical first step into reaching that goal. The A1 will be an amazing experiment to learn everything, and its data will be used to improve in the future. That's also why the name of the series is A-Series Rockets, with rockets being pluralized. I don't plan on launching the A1 and calling it a day. I would absolutely love to be able to build more in the future and gradually improve and refine the A-Series of rockets. There will be a lot of struggles along the way, but it surely will be exciting. Thanks to every single one of you sticking with me. Your support means the world to me. I will see you all in the next episodes. See ya.